I have highest regard for Mahatma Gandhi. This is his… But is he right on this one? No.
From Gandhi that says, "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love has always won. There have been murderers and tyrants, and for time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. Always." Should we take solace in that?
No. No. One falls and the next one is bread. So, I have highest regard for Mahatma Gandhi. This is his… the coming year is the 150th birth anniversary for him. I'm very much a part of that. But is he right on this one? No. He himself fell to an assassin's bullet. Well, you have a Martin Luther King shot down dead, and there have been so many others who were nowhere near any kind of tyranny, who have fallen to bullets. Well, Mussolini you hung, but Hitler had the freedom to shoot himself. I'm saying not all of them fell. And one thing we need to understand is, there are a lot of tyrants all over the place, in every society. In homes, there are many tyrants. Fortunately, they're not as potent as an Adolf Hitler or a Mussolini or somebody else or whatever. Fortunately, they're not as capable. So essentially, we are trying to celebrate incapability, incompetence. So tyranny, is it there? It's everywhere. Prejudice is there means tyranny is there, right? What is the scale and what is the competency of the tyranny is the only question. We have not strived to craft an education system where we don't produce tyrants. We are producing tyrants. Maybe they're running companies, maybe they just have 3 people in the family and they're doing their tyranny right there. Or maybe they're school teachers, they could be anything. But tyranny is all over the place. Only a few, fortunately, are super competent. They organize themselves into large-scale suffering. Others are not able to organize themselves. I would say, we should be able to celebrate competence, because that's the only thing, ultimately. If we want to celebrate competence, we need a more inclusive human being. My competence should not work against you. When is this possible? Only when in some way, in my experience, you're a part of myself. So we need to bring this into every structure. When I initially said, unfortunately our education is too intellect-oriented, we must understand what is the nature of the intellect. Intellect, if I ask you, would you like to have a sharp intellect or a dull one, blunt one? You must choose. Sharp. You must choose, I'm going to bless you. Sharp one or blunt? Sharp. So essentially, it's a cutting instrument, it's like a knife. So you have a knife in your hand, whatever you give it to this knife, it will cut it open and see. This is the nature of the intellect. Dissection is the only way intellect can know anything. So suppose you want to sew something, for that also you use your knife, you'll have everything in tatters. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening to the world. People are using their intellect even to put things together. It doesn't work like that. You should know where your intellect is relevant, where it is not. Our education system is kind of celebrating this intellect for everything. So whatever you give, people are putting into their dissection mode. This is why relationships are breaking down, people don't know the value of human interactions, people do not know what it means to get together, because if you put it through the intellect, what is the problem? It's better to have friends on the Facebook. They're safe. You can delete them whenever you don't want. But a real friend, he nags you, he sits right next to you. But inclusion is not there in our experience because we are becoming more and more intellectual. As intellect develops, as the significance of intellect becomes paramount in the world, nobody can be with anybody. Because you will dissect everybody in your mind and actually nobody is okay. Sincerely look at this and see, nobody is actually okay except you. If you ask any… I think this is a business school, but if you… last time I was in a medical school, so if you ask any psychiatrist, he will tell you, if you think nobody is okay, this means you're getting sick. Yes, it is. If you think nobody is okay except me, you're going towards megalomania. And this is happening to every human being, large scale. Our very education systems and every other system, as they become more and more intellect-based, this is inevitable because this is the nature of the intellect. It will not only slice everything, it will cut you into pieces. It will cut you into pieces and you should not be surprised. In another 100 years, if you have 30 to 40% of the people on this planet being schizophrenic, yes, you should not be surprised at all because it is very much like that, unless a lot of children don't go to school. Yes, if everybody goes to school, if 100% population goes to school for next 100 years, you will have minimum 30 to 40% schizophrenic because you are making intellect paramount. It will cut everything into pieces. When it's done with the world, it will do this to myself, dissection. So with dissection, you can know certain things, but you can't know everything. You can't know this life by dissection. And your economy, your leadership, everything is about enhancing life, isn't it? Hello?
Absolutely.
It's about enhancing life, not just playing some game which is against life. Right now it's become like this, people have started this like a game that they cannot stop, it's an addiction game, that you start doing this, doing this. In the stock market you have all that, but where is it? The wealth on the planet has remained the same in the last billion years. It's not changed. We can make products out of it, things out of it, but it's essentially the same material, isn't it? See, it's like, suppose you stand in front of the mirror, there is only one person. One person becomes two in the mirror. If you put one more mirror, this can become hundreds of people. Now you think there are hundreds of people. No, there are no hundreds of people, there's only one person. Yes? Similarly with wealth, similarly with everything, there is only that much. We should see how to use it in a sensible manner. Of course, we want to live well, there's no question about that. But life on this planet is for all life. This idea that's gone into human mind, certain religious dogmas have put this idea, everything in this world was made to serve the human being. If you pay… I've spent a lot of time in the jungles. If you just observe a lizard there, a reptile, a crawly creature, he has a complete life of his own. You observe the ants, they have a complete life of their own. Especially other mammals in the wild, they have a total life of their own emotions, their own families, their own politics and their own fights and wars and everything. They got the whole thing going. So, but somewhere human mind has been trained to think, all life is here to serve us. No, we must understand this. Today there's a study which says, if all the worms on the planet disappear today, in about 12 to 18 months, all life on the planet will disappear. Worms, believe me, those lowly worms. You call somebody a worm, that's the worst thing, right? If all the insects disappear, in somewhere between 3.5 to 5 years, all life on the planet will disappear. But if all human beings disappear, the planet will flourish.